Always wanted to do that. I love the heat, I love the summer, but it's just sleeping in it. It's just, I cannot get to sleep. Covers off me, fan full blast, it's not happening. 2 melatonin last night, 10 milligrams, knocked me right out, not 10 milligrams each, 5 milligrams each, 10 milligrams in total. And I know 5 milligrams is probably the limit I should be using, but God, that sleep was good. We are up early, we are out. We are vlogging outside, which is like the first time that I've done this in God knows how long. I'm actually kind of walking a bit directionless because I've just noticed that the sunlight on my face looks a little bit better. So I'm going to turn around in a sec. But yeah, got a new camera, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, which is going to make this a hell of a lot easier vlogging my prep. So we're 13 and a half weeks out. It's been a couple of weeks since I made a video, but it's going to be a lot more consistent now that I have this beauty in my hand. So if you watched that first prep video, the last one I did, full day of eating, food hasn't changed since then. So nothing's really changed. Step count is 10K minimum, so I'm just up early, fasted. I do 3K to start with most days, and then the rest is filled in. Usually that 10K becomes 12K. So I'm sure we're gonna bump that up to a 12K minimum soon. My weekly average is around 12,500, just because I'm active, I walk everywhere, PT sessions, that sort of thing. So I do get a fair amount of steps in. So while I'm fasted, it's 2 IUs of GH, 20 milligrams at the moment of yohimbine, built that up from 10 milligrams, and we're at 80 micrograms of clenbuterol in the morning. And that'll stay there for a while. Again, started at 40 micrograms, went up to 60, and now we're at 80. And that's nice, have that with black coffee in the morning. Do a little bit of work, do a couple of check-ins for my clients, any feedback, that kind of stuff for about an hour. And then I get out my walk, have my breakfast, and continue with work. And that is gonna be the routine for a while. Like I said though, I haven't had to drop calories yet, which is fantastic. It means that, you know, performance can be nice and high, can retain as much muscle as possible, because coaching myself, I always jump the gun and take away calories faster than I need to, push things faster than I need to, come in early, potentially lose a bit of muscle, definitely lose performance in the gym. We've got 13 and a half weeks, and every day I question, should I be taking my calories down yet? And I shouldn't, because the photos say no. The photos say I'm getting leaner, even though the scales aren't really dropping too much. I've lost 1.1 kilos in total, just under 2.5 pounds in the last 3.5 weeks. But the look is changing substantially, which means there's some recomposition going on. You know, we're building back some of that lost muscle tissue, which is great. You know, it's not all about the scale weight. Your adjustment should be dictated by the look. If the visual outcome is the goal, then there's no reason why you should chase the scale. The scale is only going to be secondary. You know, we're going to use it for anomalies. If that's dropping too fast, or you suddenly gain weight for some reason, it's nice to know why, or figure out why. But otherwise, if the look's improving, nothing needs to change. That being said, calories are going to drop in the next couple of days because they will need to, but 3.5 weeks and no calorie changes, 3,900 calories. It's pretty easy. I'm not hungry yet.
Here we are again, favourite meal of the day. Still hasn't changed. Actually, no, it has. It has changed. Today's the day. I know I said earlier that the calories haven't changed. They've dropped now. We've dropped about 300 calories. The cheese has gone from the chicken sandwiches, so it's a shame. Still got the ketchup though. Still got the ketchup. Ketchup is very important. Ketchup is king. I'm going to eat this, and then I'm going to tell you about my competition plans and what I'm thinking about in terms of, am I going to compete in bodybuilding, classic physique, or men's physique? So I'm just sipping on my pre-workout. This is Prepare by Trained by JP. Got some ice in there too because it is hot. This is my favourite pre-workout and the only pre-workout I actually use. I didn't use pre-workouts for years. I had like I used them when I started training years and years ago. I actually made like the top 10 pre-workouts of 2015, 10 years ago, like as a video. You won't find it anymore because it's, you know, I think I took it down. But yeah, I was a big pre-workout guy, and then I wasn't, and now I kind of am again because I love this one. It's such a good all-in-one pre-workout. It's a good pump It's a good focus, and it's just enough stim. Like I don't want to be too stimmed out when I'm training, especially like big muscle groups, legs, back, stuff that's gonna consume a lot of oxygen, that you're gonna get out of breath a lot. I think that adds to it if you're too stemmed out. So I'm not gonna be doing anything that's gonna blow my head off these days. I'm 30, maybe I'm just getting old. Anyway, if you want a good all-in-one pre-workout, Prepare by Train by JP is the one. I'm not sponsored. I wish I was sponsored, but I thought I'd just throw that out there in the ether. It does clump up a lot. There are a lot of clumps in this, but all good pump products do. So remember, if it ain't clumping, you ain't pumping. So we're a few weeks into the prep now. What category am I going to be competing in? Because I know I said in the last video, I was still undecided. I didn't know if I was going to do bodybuilder. I didn't know if I was going to do classic. Well, I've made a decision, and I'm going to be competing in men's physique. And this is why. So this has been primarily dictated by my legs training, which has been suffering. I know I said that in the last video. After numerous injuries in my left leg, I just can't train them the way that I want to. They are recovering. They are coming back. They're growing back. That muscle memory is kicking in, which is fantastic. And I'm getting stronger each leg session, which is fantastic. But I'm just not able to push my leg training the way that I want to, the way that I used to when I used to compete in bodybuilding, when I used to compete in classic physique. And that's just not enjoyable for me. I'm leaving every leg session fed up, annoyed, pissed off, and questioning the whole prep. And I knew that that wasn't maintainable, even though there is progress happening. It's not happening at the rate that I want it to, ideally, because, obviously I want more than I can have. And that mindset just is not going to serve me during prep. So I started thinking more and more about men's physique. I started looking more and more into men's physique, started practicing that kind of posing, and I started getting really excited about it. And it's an excitement that I actually haven't had since I did my first show 10 years ago. Now, I've always been excited to compete. I love competing. I love the whole prep, always have. But I guess once you know what to expect, there's a little bit of a question mark that's taken away. Whereas this feels like starting again, but in an exciting way. I have a lot of expectations on myself if I went back to compete in classic because I did well last time. So I know that ultimately that's more pressure that I put on myself ultimately. And I know that I would be disappointed if I didn't place in a certain way, or if I didn't deliver something at least that was what I know that I could, or at least a marked difference from before. Whereas if I decide to compete in men's physique, it's like beginning a new chapter. I really don't know what to expect. I don't know if my physique's going to suit it particularly, which I think it probably will, especially once I get the posing down and once I'm in proper contest condition. But I don't know where I'd place in a lineup. I don't know how I'd do. And I think that actually takes a lot of pressure off me. It makes it more exciting because stripping it right back to the basics, like it was 10 years ago when I started, it was competing for the love of it, getting ready for a contest, doing your absolute best without worrying what the result's going to be, who you're going to be competing against, how you stack up against them, just focusing on you, focusing on the process and enjoying it all the way through. And that's got me fired up again. And now I'm enjoying the leg sessions again because, my legs are improving. And while legs are still going to be a consideration in men's physique, obviously they're not going to be to the degree of bodybuilding or classic. They're improving, and I'm thinking about how they're going to look in the shorts rather than how they're going to look in posing trunks, that kind of thing. So that's where my mind's at with it, and I'm looking forward to the next 13 weeks of prep, how that's going to shape up. I'm looking forward to practicing the posing for the men's physique because, God, I did not give these guys enough credit when I was bodybuilding because I don't think they really posed at all, but they fucking do. There are two poses, front and back. And if you do them well enough, it looks like you're not posing, but you are. And they do it with a big smile on their face, and I need to practice that a lot. I actually had a posing session yesterday with Matt Parker, and it was very, very good. He gave me loads of great tips that I could instantly implement and practice on. That excites me as well, because now I know that I'm going to be posing in the right way. I'm going to be practicing the correct way, not making bad habits early on. So just nailing it right off the bat, ideally, because ultimately it's what you present on stage. It doesn't matter how good your physique is if you can't present it. What they're going to judge you on. So big shout out to Matt. Thank you for that. If you need help with your men's physique posing, go and see him because he's fantastic. And I'm sure I'll be getting another couple of sessions in before I compete for the first time in 13 weeks. And I'm really excited. I'm really excited to share that news with you. So I'm going to finish my pre-workout. I'm going to head to the gym. We're going to train back. I'm going to show you a bit of that. We're going to come back and it's going to be another day, but I'll show you some posing. I'll show you bodybuilding posing and men's physique posing, bit of a physique update. And I'll show you what I look like in some board shorts for the first time. Wow.
It is ridiculously hot. It's like over 30 degrees now and I'm sweating already on the walk to the gym. But this is how you get your steps up, guys. If you are low on your step count, stop being lazy and walk to the gym. But yeah, the heat was really getting to me. It's just the night time really, actually. To be honest, I don't really mind it here. It's nice getting a bit of a tan, but when you try to go to sleep at night, it's like every single year in the summer, I think about buying one of those portable aircon units. And inevitably we have the 3 weeks of summer that we're allocated and it's over. And I go, it'd be a waste of money now. And then the next summer rolls around and I wish I did it. But I'm far too frugal for that, so I'll probably just buy another fan and call it a day and keep complaining about it. Although now we're on prep and we know that sleep's very important, it's definitely a consideration again, so we'll be looking on Amazon later. Only just finishing, warming up, I'm sweating buckets already. I actually always have electrolytes in my intra workout now, but on days like this, I add extra salt because I know I'm going to be sweating a lot. And no, I don't mind a salty drink, you dirty bastards. Okay. Whew. Okay. So I won't film every exercise today because it is hot and I just need to get through this workout. But I'll give you an idea of what we're doing. So bent over dual dumbbell rows next. When you're using the dumbbells, you've got to use them to your advantage. There's no point in just pulling back like you would with a machine or a bar. You want to open up and retract your scapula so your hands are starting here and they're ending here, so you can squeeze that middle back. Otherwise, you may as well just use a bar. And nothing wrong with barbell rows. It's what I do on my other back day. I'm training back twice a week at the moment. Once I use dumbbells and once I use a bar. So there we have it. That's the look. 13 weeks out. By the way, can you see the merch? Oh no, it's striking my face too much. New merch. I say merch, it's just for me. But as you can see, the legs are lagging behind the upper body a little bit. But it is what it is. We've made the decision to move to men's physique. Now the legs are improving though, and it's not like I'm not going to train them. Actually, I feel like I can probably train them a little bit more intensely and enjoy it rather than pushing the limits, inevitably probably getting injured again. Don't want that to happen. So we train them nice and intense once a week, and I'm going to talk you through my men's physique workout split on the next video. Look at that glorious sunshine. So that is a wrap for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Let's get it.